college. It's quite the experience, isn't it? A bit of a pressure cooker sometimes.
Definitely. You're juggling so much.
Yeah, trying to soak up all this new information, figure out the social scene, maybe even, figure out yourself a bit.
And you want to do it well. You want to succeed.
Exactly. And ideally, you want the insights, the key stuff, without wading through, 100 self-help books.
Well, that's what we're hoping to do today. We're digging into this document, The Secret of Success in College Life Revealed by Sri Kumar, MS.
Okay, bold title.
Yeah, it is. But honestly, it covers a surprising amount of ground. Really looks at what helps students thrive.
Right, so it's not just grades we're talking about.
No, not at all. It touches on, how we learn, planning, relationships, well-being, the whole picture.
Okay, good. So our mission today is basically to pull out the really actionable bits, the core ideas you can actually use, right?
Yeah.
Make it make sense without needing, another course to understand it.
Precisely. Make it useful.
All right, let's dive in. Where should we start? Maybe the absolute core, learning itself. How do we actually learn effectively in college?
Yeah, good starting point. The document really pushes past just memorizing things for an exam.
Rote learning, yeah.
Exactly. It argues that real success comes from genuinely getting the concepts underneath. And interestingly, it implies we need to be, active learners.
Active learning. Okay, so not just highlighting the textbook while half watching something else.
Definitely not. It's more about engaging, right? So instead of just rereading notes over and over.
Which is what I always used to do.
We all did. But try explaining the idea out loud to someone else, or, even just to your wall.
Okay.
Or try applying it. How does this concept work in a real-world situation? That act of retrieving and using the information, it makes it stick much better than just passive review.
That makes sense.
And the source also suggests mixing things up, using different ways to learn.
Yeah, that rings true. If I just read, it often goes poof.
Mm-hmm.
But if I try to explain it or draw it out, suddenly it clicks. So being aware of different approaches, maybe experimenting a bit.
That seems to be the idea. Find what works for you, but don't just stick to one passive method.
Okay, so once we're actually engaging actively, how do we handle the sheer amount of stuff? College can feel overwhelming. Planning must come in here.
Oh, absolutely. The document really emphasizes having a structured approach, planning out your studies, yes, but also kind of your life in general during college.
Structure helps cut through the chaos.
It really can. It makes everything feel more manageable, less overwhelming, that word you use.
Yeah, that's the feeling we want to avoid. So, practically speaking, what does good planning look like? Is it just scheduling every minute?
Well, the source suggests it's more about balance. It's not just about blocking out study time, crucial as that is.
Yeah.
It's also about making space for other things. Social life, activities, downtime, just recharging. It's about a realistic schedule that reflects your priorities. Makes you wonder, how often do people really sit down and plan their week like that?
Good question. I know I tend to react more than plan sometimes, but being proactive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see how that gives you a sense of control. Okay, another thing the document mentions is more personal, knowing ourselves, strengths, weaknesses.
Yes, self-awareness,
Yeah.
super important in how you learn. It's about knowing what clicks for you easily and where you might struggle a bit.
And the idea is to tailor your strategies then.
Exactly. Play to your strengths. If you're a visual learner, lean into diagrams, mind maps, that sort of thing.
Or if you learn by doing, maybe find practical projects or labs.
Precisely. But it's also about acknowledging the weaknesses, not to feel bad, but to address them.
Okay.
So if writing's tough, maybe you actively seek out the writing center or ask for feedback earlier. It's about being strategic based on that self-knowledge.
That makes a lot of sense. Being honest with yourself, really. Okay, so we've talked learning, planning, self-awareness. But college isn't just you and your books, right? People matter.
Hugely. The document stresses how important positive relationships are with your classmates, your friends, and significantly with faculty.
Ah, yeah. Professors and TAs.
Right. These connections can genuinely boost both your learning and just your overall personal growth during college.
You think about study groups, right?
Yeah.
Bouncing ideas off each other. Or friends who get you through a stressful week.
Exactly. And professors, they can be mentors, offer guidance, open doors maybe.
Yeah.
Building those connections gives you different viewpoints, emotional support, maybe even unexpected opportunities. The source really frames relationship building as a key part of the whole experience.
It takes effort, though. It's easy to just go to class and leave.
It does take intention, but the payoff seems significant. And speaking of support, beyond people, there are also institutional resources.
Right, the stuff the college provides.
Yes, and the document highlights using these. Academic advisors, tutoring, career services, the library staff, mental health services, they're all there to help.
But you have to actually use them.
That's the key point. You need to be proactive. They aren't just going to magically solve your problems if you don't reach out.
So if you're stuck on something, ask. If you're worried about careers, go talk to someone.
Yeah.
Don't just assume it's all on you.
Exactly. Being resourceful, knowing what's available, and actually engaging with it, that's a big skill the document emphasizes is necessary.
Okay. Resourcefulness.
Yeah.
Got it. Let's shift slightly. Amidst all the deadlines and study sessions, what about just looking after yourself?
Ah, yes. Health and well-being. The document draws a very clear link between that and academic success.
It's not just an optional extra.
Not at all. It emphasizes a balanced lifestyle looking after your physical and mental health.
Yeah.
Because they're totally connected and they directly impact your focus, your energy, your ability to perform.
It's like trying to run a marathon without training or proper fuel.
Right. Exactly. Sleep, nutrition, exercise, managing stress, these aren't luxuries. They're fundamental to cognitive function. The source basically says taking care of yourself is a strategy for success.
Healthy body, healthy mind. Okay. Now, even if you do everything right, plan well, study actively, sleep enough,
Yeah.
college still throws curveballs. Challenges happen.
Absolutely inevitable. And the document acknowledges this. The key, it suggests, isn't avoiding difficulty, but building resilience, learning how to cope.
So it's less about preventing failure, more about how you bounce back from it.
Precisely. You might get a bad grade, face a rejection, feel overwhelmed. It happens.
Yeah.
The source talks about maintaining a positive outlook, trying to see setbacks as learning opportunities, and having strategies for stress. That mental toughness is crucial.
That bounce back ability, not letting one tough moment derail everything. And speaking of direction, goals seem important too.
Yes. The document touches on having clear objectives, a sense of purpose. This can be a really powerful motivator.
It gives you the why, doesn't it? Why you're putting in all the effort.
Exactly. Whether it's a specific career, wanting to solve a certain problem, or just deep curiosity, that purpose fuels you, especially when things get tough.
Aligning what you do in college with where you want to go.
It creates meaning and focus.
Yeah,
Helps you stay engaged.
So taking time to reflect on those bigger goals seems pretty vital. Okay, one last big area the document covers, which kind of ties everything together, is mindset.
Right. The growth mindset. This is huge.
Explain that a bit.
It's basically the belief that your abilities, your intelligence, they aren't fixed. They can be developed through effort, good strategies, input from others.
So not I'm bad at math, but I haven't mastered this math concept yet.
Exactly that shift. And what's fascinating is seeing challenges not as proof you can't do it, but as opportunities to learn and get better.
Okay.
This mindset encourages resilience, perseverance. It fuels that desire to keep learning. The source suggests this belief in your potential is a massive factor in success, well beyond college, too.
So just believing you can learn and adapt, it changes how you approach everything. Simple but powerful.
Very powerful.
Okay, wow. We've covered a lot of ground there, pulling from that document, from active learning and planning to relationships, well-being, resilience, purpose, and that crucial growth mindset.
It really paints a holistic picture, doesn't it? All these pieces connect.
Yeah, it's not just one secret. It's how these things work together. Hopefully this gives you some, solid takeaways without feeling like homework.
That's the idea. Actionable insights for a more successful and hopefully more fulfilling college journey.
So maybe something to reflect on. Which of these ideas we talked about really hits home for you right now? Where you are or how you think about college.
Yeah.
And maybe what's just one small thing, one principle you could try applying this week. Because really, these aren't just college skills, are they? They're kind of life skills, lifelong learning.
Absolutely. They set you up for much more than just graduation.
Well, thanks for digging into this deep dive with us today.